Welcome to the Wall of Soundtrack, a show where we discuss the music and soundtracks behind the very best TV shows and motion pictures. In this episode, we'll be analyzing and discussing the music and soundtrack behind Oliver Stone's epic football drama, Any Given Sunday. Any Given Sunday is a football drama that was released in 1999. The story surrounds the Miami Sharks, a fictional American professional football franchise that was once great but is now struggling to make the playoffs. The film is loosely based on the novel On Any Given Sunday, written by NFL defensive end Pat Toomey. The picture was written and directed by Oliver Stone. Daniel Pine and John Logan would also be credited for contributing to the storyline and screenplay as well. The cast of Any Given Sunday included a variety of renowned actors, actresses, and former NFL football players, including the following: Al Pacino as Miami Sharks head coach, Tony D'Amato; Cameron Diaz as Miami Sharks general manager and owner, Christina Pagliacci; James Woods as team doctor, Dr. Harvey Mandrake; Dennis Quaid as starting veteran quarterback, Jack Cap Rooney; Jamie Foxx as third-string quarterback, Willie Beeman; LL Cool J as starting running back, Julian Washington; and Margaret as Christina's mother, Margaret Pagliacci; NFL Hall of Famer Lawrence Taylor as linebacker, Luther Levy; NFL Hall of Famer Jim Brown as defensive coordinator, Montezuma Monroe; Aaron Eckhart as offensive coordinator, Nick Crozier; Matthew Modine as internist, Dr. Oliver Powers; and John C. McGinley as sports writer, Jack Rose. Several NFL football players and coaches also made cameos in the film, including the following: Dick Butkus, Y.A. Tittle, Pat Toomey, Warren Moon, Johnny Unitas, Ricky Waters, Emmett Smith, Terrell Owens, and Barry Switzer. My returning guest for this discussion is Cy Shackelford. Cy is a writer for the entertainment commentary and review website Action A Go-Go. You can follow his articles on the website www.actionagogo.com, and you can also follow him on Twitter. His Twitter handle is @Shack_House83. And at this time of year, as we move towards the end of the NFL season into the playoffs/Super Bowl, Cy and I thought, what a better time than now to discuss such an epic football movie like Any Given Sunday. We really had a blast doing this episode, and we hope you enjoy it as well. Here's my discussion with Cy on the music and soundtrack behind Oliver Stone's epic football drama, Any Given Sunday. All right, Cy, how are you?
Good, Andrew. How you doing?
Good. So, what's new with, have you seen any new movies lately?
Actually, yes. I saw Vice yesterday with Christian Bale and Steve Carell about the, it was a real tongue-in-cheek, framed like a comedy biopic of Dick Cheney, former vice president. And Christian Bale, he does it again. He transforms himself, puts on weight, actual weight, gets a beer gut, shaves his head, and even learns how to do Dick Cheney's trademark snarl every time he talks, too.
Dude, that guy is amazing, man. He always brings his A game and always just makes a total commitment to every single role that he does.
Even at the cost of his own health. Like, remember when he did The Machinist and how bony his ribcage was showing for that role?
Yeah, he looked like he was in like some type of like concentration camp or something.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And then he put on all that muscle, all that weight and muscle back on his body when he did the first Batman Begins movie as well.
Yeah, he's makes total commitment, and he's one of those method actors.
Yes, he is. And I think now, with Daniel Day-Lewis retired, Christian Bale is Hollywood's #1 method actor now.
Yeah.
He's got the same dedication to his character roles, staying in character the whole time. He's had that ever since back when he did Patrick Bateman for American Psycho, just talking his American accent, even in interviews about the film, and isolated himself from the rest of the cast just to stay in character.
What was your opinion of the movie overall?
I thought Adam McKay directed it, and he framed it like a tongue-in-cheek comedy, really. And there were plenty of laughable parts in there, including a sequence where you think the movie's over halfway through and they show the credits, but then they immediately say, scratch that, we're not done here.
Do you think he also did The Big Short as well? Did you think it was better than that? Or
I did, actually, yeah. I saw The Big Short, thinking that it was going to say something about the whole the economic crisis, but really it felt like Wolf of Wall Street in a certain sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, not the same level of dark comedy or over the top scenes and whatnot, but I just didn't feel like it said anything really.
Okay. Okay. I saw The Mule, man. That was excellent.
Clint Eastwood, yeah.
Yeah, it was like Gran Torino meets Mystic River.
And Mystic River is my favorite movie too.
Yeah, he just keeps bringing, excellent qualities to, or excellent quality to all of his movies.
And he stars in this one as well as directs it, right?
Yeah.
He's like, what, 88 years old now and he's still doing it?
Yeah.
I admire that.
He's just a journeyman. He just keeps going and he keeps perfecting his craft. It's just, it's incredible,
And people want to be in a Clint Eastwood movie too. That's how much weight his name carries.
Yeah, and he reunited with Bradley Cooper, who was an American Sniper. And, there's definitely some tongue-in-cheek, racial humor in there. So, going back to the Gran Torino film.
Even before that, really, like Dirty Harry, he was doing that tongue-in-cheek racial humor there, too.
Yeah, so there's a lot of comedy in it, but it also, has the seriousness as well with the drug war and how his character flaws in the movie. I mean, I don't want to give all of it away, but I think it's definitely worth going to the theaters to watch.
So he's an old man that gets roped into being a drug mule.
Yeah, he's like essentially a transporter of cocaine for like a drug cartel. And actually, it's pretty cool in the movie. Andy Garcia is the head of the cartel.
Andy Garcia.
Yeah. So he's got a lot of funny moments too in the movie. So definitely worth going to see though.
So that's what Vincent Corleone became after the mafia thing failed.
Yeah. So but yeah, man, I see you're sporting your New England gear.
Yes, you're sporting your Jacksonville gear.
Yeah, it's we still have some time left in the NFL season. We're moving into the playoffs.
Yeah, the wild cards are today actually.
Okay, yeah. So and it's what a better time, right, to move into the soundtrack of any given Sunday.
Oh yeah, let's get it.
Yeah. So this movie, man, I think this is one of the best football movies I've seen. There's a few others like The Program and Necessary Roughness. That's a good one.
Brian's Song.
Yeah, Brian's Song.
Ultimate guy cried movie, by the way.
Yeah. And then what was the other comedy? I think it was The Replacements. That was
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, that's pretty funny too. And I think one of the coaches in this movie, I think it's the quarterback's coach, was also in The Replacements as well for the Sharks.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and I'm blanking on his name, but he was yelling at Willie Beeman on the sidelines.
He's like a drill sergeant.
Yeah.
I told you get ready 5 minutes ago, and he's in there eating chips. Yeah.
So, and I think the movie really, it just really captures the NFL and professional football, I think, very accurately. It was really ahead of its time.
It was, yeah, and I'm sure Oliver Stone wanted to use the actual NFL, their logo and everything in there for the film, but they rightly figured it would make them look bad.
Yeah.
Even though it's most likely true to life.
Yeah, and it actually touches on the concussions, which was an issue that was covered by that movie that Will Smith was in. I'm blanking on the name of it. Concussion. Well, wow.
Tell the truth.
Yeah.
Tell the truth. I saw that in the theater too.
Oh, and was that good too?
That was a good film. Yeah, I mean, it shed some light on an issue that really needs to be addressed a whole lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's kind of sad too. A lot of these players are suffering of all these issues, after retiring.
Look at Junior Seau.
Yeah, he's committing suicide, right?
He killed himself. Not only was he a good player too, but if they actually gave him the treatment he needed, then he'd probably still be alive today.
Yeah, it's tragic, and but yeah, this movie just touches on a lot of things: the commercial aspect, business aspect of.
Oh yeah, behind the scenes aspect of the game, what the owner's perspective, and how that affects the coaches, the players, and even the spectators.
Yeah, and then Oliver Stone is at the helm, the director's helm, and really brings it in with this movie. Does a great job, and it's just I'm trying to think of I know it feels like we've been kind of on like an Oliver Stone kick lately, but
I thought Scorsese.
and
kicked it.
Scorsese, well,
Yeah.
Scorsese too, which is kind of ironic because he was like Marty Scorsese was Oliver Stone's like film school teacher, which is kind of
he was.
crazy.
It is, yeah.
And I guess you kind of find similarities between the two, their films, and
There are the use of music, the fast pacedness, but I think Stone he has better editing than Scorsese does.
yeah. And we were just talking about this before. Willie Beeman, who's one of the main characters played by Jamie Foxx, I was kind of thinking about the league, the NFL today. He kind of reminds me of like Lamar Jackson from the Baltimore Ravens, or Josh Johnson from the Washington Redskins,
Or Jalen Ramsey from what's it called, the Jaguars.
Yeah.
All the trash talking they do.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ego.
Yeah, but and you know what's also great about this movie is there's so many great Hall of Famers that are like, you know, ex NFL players and Hall of Famers that show up and make cameos.
Yeah, even at the time, present day players as well too.
Yeah, like Terrell Owens is in the film.
He actually plays himself more or less with the Sharks, because he's actually got a Sharks jersey with Owens written on the back of it.
Yeah, and then I think Ricky Waters was in, and I don't know if he was playing at the time in the league, but Ricky Waters was the running back for San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
And Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, and Terrell Owens, he played for San Fran at the time.
Yeah, they were actually saying, I was watching the behind the scenes for the film, and they were saying that Oliver Stone was saying that he was so fast he actually beat some of the dollies when they were filming.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Is.
But Jim Brown also another great Hall of Fame tailback for the was it Cleveland Browns?
Cleveland Browns, yeah.
And also played lacrosse, as Bunk Moreland would say in The Wire.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, the guy was just amazing athlete, but you know he's just has a great performance in this movie.
He does. He's a way of playing those black authoritative roles in his movie, like in this film and a year prior to this film, and He Got Game.
Okay.
Yeah, where he played a Denzel's parole officer, I think it was.
Okay. Yeah, and I was actually watching Nixon, and that's another Oliver Stone movie, and they the main character Nixon, played by Anthony Hopkins, mentions Jim Brown in the movie, and how ironic for Stone to actually end up working with him later on.
Jim Brown in this film, yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool, man.
It is. This is an ensemble cast too. It's
yeah.
Al Pacino, Dennis Quaid, Cameron Diaz, LL Cool J, James Woods, Matthew Modine, John C. McGinley, who's a Oliver Stone favorite.
Yeah.
Who else? Stone himself in like a Hitchcockian appearance. He's one of the announcers.
Yeah.
The play-by-play callers.
He's like drinking the first game.
Yes.
And then even Charlton Heston shows up as like the commissioner.
The commissioner, yeah. And who else? Lauren Holly, she was Dennis Quaid's like gold digging wife.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of his other movies, like JFK and Nixon. You see all these, like he has this just crazy, epic cast of like actors and actresses that he uses.
People want to work with him. Although James Woods, he said he'd never work with Stone again after Salvador, I think it was.
And then ironically, he's back.
He's back. I'm glad he's in this film because he's funny.
Yeah, he was funny. Yeah, he is funny.
Like the scene where Cherubini, the second string quarterback, where he gets injured in the first play, and then as Jimmy Woods, he's taking the main captain, the main quarterback, Rooney.
Yeah, Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, he's taking him back. He's like, wait a minute, we need you back here. Cherubini's injured. He fell off what? The bench? All right. Don't bleed on my suit. I'll get over there. Fuck.
Yeah, he was great in Casino too, man. As we were talking last time, he just had a lot of funny kind of zingers, and
he does. He's good for that.
Yeah, it's like James Woods playing James Woods,
just like it's like how they did it in Entourage. They made fun of that.
Yeah. So let's jump into this soundtrack here. First song we're going to cover is I believe actually the first game. It's by Gary Glitter. It's called Rock and Roll Part 2. This is like the old kind of the cliche or quintessential sports song. You probably even hear it at the majority of sports arenas that you would go to if you're going to a live sports event.
Even at a high school game, they used to play it at my high school football games too.
Yeah, and I think it really fits this scene because I think it's Willie. This is Willie's first time coming in after the two quarterbacks, Cap Rooney and Cherubini, get hurt.
And he's been there for 5 seasons now as a third string quarterback and hasn't done nothing until now.
Yeah. So he definitely doesn't have the experience. It's kind of a shit show. He's thrown into kind of a shit show. And
he gives more of his background too as to why he doesn't really have the experience he should have as a quarterback.
Yeah. Because, this is later on in the film, but he mentions that he was, one of his coaches wanted him to play cornerback instead of quarterback, and he ends up dislocating his shoulder.
An injury that still persists throughout the film.
Yeah. But, they play this song. It just works perfectly with the scene exhibiting the chaos, the confusion. He's not even at one point under center. He's like had his hands under the guard's ass.
Yeah, he's like, get your hands out of my ass. That's what I said to your girl last night, is what other team members said.
Then I think he pukes too, right?
Like, that's like
pukes in the huddle. He pulls a Donovan McNabb.
Or Darren Drozdov. That was his nickname when he was in the NFL, Puke.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah. I was thinking that when I saw that movie, or when I saw that scene, I was like, him puking in the huddle. I was like, it really reminded me of the Donovan McNabb thing, puking in the Super Bowl. And,
yeah.
Oh man, so many connections to present day football. It's great.
It is. That's what makes the movie kind of timeless.
Yeah, and just a small little note here: this song is not on the soundtrack. It's not on the official soundtrack, but I think it's placed very well. And there's a lot of songs that actually are in this movie that are not on the soundtrack.
No, they're not. They did a volume 2 of the soundtrack after the main one. The main one got like success in the pop charts and went gold. And LL Cool J's song that was on the main one, Shut 'Em Down, that was a big hit single.
Yeah.
So on the success of that, they put out the volume 2, which included all the other songs they used in the movie that weren't included on the first soundtrack.
And then we'll go into our next one, Fatboy Slim, which is right here, right now. I like Fatboy Slim. I'm a fan.
Me too.
And I like how Oliver Stone and the music supervisor kind of switched it up with all the different types of genres and of music in the film, like electronic, new metal. And then you have hip hop, and then you have funk, and
that's kind of exemplified in this opening scene for the Sharks in the game, in this game that they're losing.
Yeah,
they go through the Gary Glitter's Rock and Roll Part 2, Fatboy Slim, and another song too right after that. It's like probably to show how intense their frustration's getting.
Yeah, and I guess that's a good segue into the next track, by Godsmack.
Oh yeah,
why?
At the time when this movie came out back in 1999, I was really big in the new metal scene. And Godsmack, they were one of my favorites. Their first album, their self-titled album, with the girl on the cover and the old Godsmack Sun logo. God, I was a fan of that.
And their music was like super. What was that, around like early 2000?
98, 99, 2000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing them at HF Festival with Audio Slave.
Oh yeah, that was like Audio Slave or Rage.
I believe it was Audio. I think, yeah, Audio Slave went on second to last, and then Godsmack came on.
Yeah, in 2000, the 2000 HF Festival, I saw them there.
Okay.
Yeah, Rage Against the Machine, they were also there too.
And they were really big in a lot of movie soundtracks as well. I think it was like
Scorpion King.
Scorpion King with what was that? The Rock.
The Rock.
The Rock was in that. Yeah.
Dracula 2000. Scream 3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they're a great live band, real heavy, and this song just fits perfectly. It's right when Willie Beeman throws the interception on the first drive.
The first drive, yeah.
Yeah, and then Al Pacino's like,
fuck!
Yeah.
And you see Cameron Diaz like, no! And she's about to say fuck, and the camera just turns off.
Yeah. Fits perfectly. And you look at the lyrics for the song, why another way for you to fake your way through life. Yeah. Remember, everything you do will come around.
Yeah. That fits Willie Beeman. And also the other lyrics that fitted are, how the hell can I forgive you? You made me suffer, trying to see how far you pushed me underground. Maybe that's still his bitterness about not being the quarterback that he should have been, and the experience he had in college when he dropped from being a number 1 draft pick with $1 million signing bonus to going down 6 rounds.
Yeah. And it was kind of hard to recognize this track in the movie because it's an instrumental. They only really like kind of phase in the heavy guitar parts. You don't hear the lyrics because
No, you don't.
the lead singer's voice is like very noticeable when you hear it. Like
Sully Erna, yeah, he has a recognizable voice.
so, I was like, that's Godsmack, and then I had to like kind of trace, backtrack. But yeah. So then we go to our next song by POD, Whatever It Takes.
Yeah, this song, when I heard it, when first time I heard it, I thought it was Rage Against the Machine's Tire Me, which was also used in Higher Learning 4 years prior and was on their Evil Empire CD from 96. It just sounds similar because like the song is like, how did it go again? How did it go? We're already dead. We're already dead. And the POD's version goes, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And it sounds like, and it has a similar guitar riff too.
Yeah, this is off the POD's album. I think it was called The Fundamental Elements of Southtown. Yeah, which has their infamous track Southtown, which is really heavy.
That is very heavy. This one is heavy too. I mean,
yeah,
even it was very part of that whole rap metal,
new metal
genre that was heavy at the time. Yeah, and I think POD they did that genre well because not only was their musical background good, but they got a front man who can actually rap.
Yeah, Sonny Duval, I believe his name
Sonny
is.
Sandoval.
Sandoval, sorry.
Yeah.
And what I also noticed is when the song kind of fades in when they're going into the locker room.
Oh yeah.
And above the locker room it says whatever it takes, which I thought was a really cool way to kind of bring everything together.
Yeah, I thought so too, actually. Yeah. And the motivational speech in that scene too that Al Pacino's character gives them. If you want to be pussy, raise your hand. And LL Cool J raises his hand. He's like, what the hell are you doing, Jay? My bad, coach. I didn't want you to be the only pussy out here, son.
He's like, defense. He's like, you got to do something.
You got to do something.
He's like, you got to fly around out there,
Cover your man. He didn't know what to say. He let Jim Brown say it all.
Jim Brown's like, we designed the defense for idiots.
You're dumb enough, so we made it. It was simple enough for you to understand it, you dumb motherfucker.
He is like the comedy. Oh, my God. He just has some great lines in the film, and it's really like a delight to watch him. And I mean, him just being a Hall of Famer too, and being able to act like Lawrence Taylor did a great job too.
Oh, LT was really good, really good. He was Luther LeVay, the linebacker, and even when Pacino's character is arguing with Cameron Diaz again, she's like, Shark is too old to play. Shark is not too old to play. He revolutionized linebacking. Lawrence Taylor did that. Yeah, and that's why he's considered the best defensive player ever.
Yeah. He's just a monster. The tackles that he made. I mean, his career is incredible with the Giants.
He was a beast.
Yeah.
Back to the song though. What's it called? There was like a bridge in there. Apart from the lyrics that you posted, that pretty much describe their motivation, like whatever it takes, and we got to separate all these true from the fakes. There's a bridge in there where it goes, "This is our house. This is where we live. Ain't nobody gonna mess with us in our house."
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was pivotal as part of. They didn't include that part in the movie, but I thought as part of the whole song itself, it was pivotal to the scene.
I don't know why, on a just a random note, I don't know why POD gets so much hate. I'd be like, because people are like, oh, they're a Christian band, and I'm like, I didn't know that initially, but when I've seen them live, they've always been awesome. They just have amazing intensity. Their music's super, powerful, and I just don't see why people hate on them so much.
Probably because of how they. When I first saw them, like the video for the Fundamental Elements of Southtown back in the summer of 2000, I with all their tattoos and dreads and whatnot, the way they were rocking, I wouldn't get the impression they were Christians.
Yeah, it's just, and you wouldn't. I don't even think you'd really be able to tell from their lyrics either.
No, I mean they're not cursing or anything. They're not explicit or even doing anything vulgar at all. What would we consider vulgar? So
yeah. But great band. I saw them with Linkin Park. Incredible show, and I will probably see them again soon.
I saw them at HF Festival in 2001.
And they're still putting out new albums. So.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the only ones I have are the Fundamental Elements and Satellite.
Satellite, yeah, that's an epic album.
Oh yeah, it's fucking dope.
So our next song is by Mystical. So Mystical, the track name is Jump, and this song appears in the movie after that pile up, there's like that big pile up.
Oh yeah, madman.
Yeah. Kelly just knocks the defensive lineman's like tooth out.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
he's like, payback's a bitch.
He's bleeding on the floor, spitting out blood, and Pacino's like, Crozier, get your man under control.
Yeah, the refs are like, they're like even knocking the refs over into the pile.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
And Madman was nuts. And Mystical, yeah, he this song was one of his early productions with the Neptunes. They did the beat for this one.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like a year before Shake Your Ass came out and hit big.
Yeah, so like Chad Hugo and
Pharrell. Okay,
yeah. Love the Neptunes, man, which was like, then that kind of developed into NERD, right? Like,
yes, it did.
Okay.
The Neptunes got big.
So yeah, this and then the lyrics reflect the violence in the scene.
Yeah,
clearly it's like, you get tackled by the style I'm using. I got all my adversaries cruising
with contusions.
Yeah, cuts and lacerations, broken bones, open sores. Yeah, fits perfectly.
And Mystical got that. Sorry, Mystical has a delivery that works great with a violent scene like that.
Yeah, he's got that aggressive sounding voice.
He does. He's aggressive as hell, but he stays on beat.
Yeah. Yeah, he just sounds, it almost sounds like he's screaming sometimes.
Yeah, it does, yeah. It's like a Samuel L. Jackson parody from Chappelle's show. It's like, can you stop yelling at me, please? No, I can't stop yelling, because that's how I talk.
They should have got Mystical on the Chappelle show.
Yeah, he did. That would have been funny.
Well, they got Little John, right?
Or something, yeah, because them rappers, all of them are comedians. He was in he was with No Limit at the time, with Master P and them. And in '98, he did that movie with them, I Got the Hookup. He was funny in that.
Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. I forgot to mention in our discussions, there's another track that is not on the official soundtrack. It's called Ultramarine.
Yeah.
And it's an instrumental that it comes a little bit after the pile up scene. And it's seen, or it's actually used in Heat, which was directed by Michael Mann. And in this movie, there's a lot of like homage to Michael Mann,
starting with Al Pacino starring in this movie.
Yeah, and I mean it's a few years after Heat. I think Heat was done in '95, so this is like
4 years later.
Yeah, and Al Pacino kind of looks the same. I mean,
more or less, yeah. I mean, he looks more haggard in this film, and he had that. His hair was clearly dyed, but it's like more youthful brown, I guess.
Yeah,
and he was way more hammy and over the top in Heat.
Yeah. I mean, he still had some great lines and energy in this movie as well.
He does that motivational speech. That's top 5 for me.
Yeah. That's like
the Inches speech.
The Inches speech. But yeah, that track comes in and it's just like an instrumental bass kind of synthesizer track, and it was used to go back to Heat. It was used in that scene where they're staking out Waingro and nothing's happening. So Pacino leaves the police station. He's like all pissed. He's like,
in the scene where he tosses his TV out the car.
Yeah, and then he walks out of the police station. He's like, "Bon voyage, motherfucker." He's like, "You are good."
Yeah, he had a lot of weird lines in that film too, like that one and the great ass line too. It's like in the original script they said he's partly on coke is why he's doing all that, but they didn't show that in the movie.
Yeah, I think Michael Mann was saying that his character. He wrote his character, the Vincent Hanna character, as if he was on coke. Like his mannerisms, he was just unpredictable. You know,
he was unpredictable.
Well, yeah, he just like hauls ass out of that parking lot and then like drives down and kicks the TV out, and everyone's like, "Why did he do that?" Like that was totally random.
It was, yeah, but yeah, even the scene before that with the TV was like, "You can ball my wife in her postmodernistic home, but you do not get to watch my fucking television."
Yeah, I love that scene, but and it's funny because you've probably had those like moments at work too when you hop in your car and you're pissed and you just ball out of the parking lot.
Yeah, I've had.
I was like, I could relate to that. Like,
I've had that too. Yeah,
but yeah, "Bless Me Father" by POD, our next track, which is like an unreleased track by POD. I couldn't find this.
I couldn't find it anywhere myself either. It's not on the soundtrack.
Yeah, it's not on the official soundtrack for this film. But yeah, it's essentially played at the end of the game or when they lose and they go back into the locker room. Mm-hmm. They do a prayer with the chaplain, the whole team, the Sharks, and then after that, it kind of transitions to like a montage or and it's played. That song is played, and I was wondering who sang it. I was like, who the hell sings this song? Because it doesn't really sound like POD initially.
It was them, yeah. And what's funny is as the song's playing and as the father is leading the whole team in prayer, the one thing he says is, which is a hark back to Platoon, I think, there are no atheists in foxholes.
That's a good catch. Yeah, I didn't even make that connection, but that's a huge call out there. And yeah, I mean, I think the title of the song pretty much matches up with the scene. The
sharks need something. They need some kind of miracle.
Yeah, they need some other miracle. And then we transition into the Cap One and Noriega song.
Capone and Noriega.
Or Capone, sorry.
Or just CNN, that works too.
CNN, yeah. Yeah, I'm having trouble pronouncing today.
Although in fairness, there is a Chicago rapper named Cap One.
Cap One, yeah. Capone
Noriega. They're from Queens, and this is their first time back together since Capone went to jail too a few years prior.
Okay, and the song's titled "Reunion," which I think is pretty fitting for the scene where he's Willie Beeman is kind of reuniting with his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. After the game, they're watching the highlight reel.
Yeah. And Willie calls his mother and she's like, "Why didn't you tell me you was going to be on live TV, baby?"
And he's like, they show the highlight reel shows him puking. Yeah. It's so funny, man.
Yeah, it is. And they're really fast paced with the highlight reels and a lot of that stuff too.
Yeah. And I think it's a kind of, his girlfriend is happy for him, embarrassed but happy for him.
Yeah, Leela Rashawn, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that matches up well with the lyrics when you look at him, "I'm glad you're home so we could take over the world, it's ours to own."
And it's a dope song too. I mean, Nori, he does the first verse, and the second verse is him and Capone tag teaming rhymes.
Yeah.
And the last verse, Capone just does that one himself.
Yeah. Yeah. There's and that's what I love about this soundtrack is it's just so many good songs, and there's a mixture of all those genres, hip hop, R&B.
It's a sign of the times, I think the soundtrack was.
Yeah, and a lot of other people I was reading about this soundtrack gave it high claims and just really liked it. So it's pretty baller. So the next song, Smokey Robinson, "Cruisin'."
Oh yeah,
another Oliver Stone. He likes Smokey Robinson. He used Smokey Robinson in Platoon.
Yes, he did.
And now he's reusing or using Smokey Robinson again in this film. The song is not actually on the actual soundtrack, but works well because in the scene.
D'Amato's getting drunk at the bar by himself, and you can see the camera go from his point of view where he's really has that whole dizzy circular sensation.
Yeah. He's kind of out of it. He's like, he's burned out after that tough loss.
Yeah. And he after a loss, he just sits there and just wonders 30 years, why do I still do this for?
Yeah. And then when you look at the song lyrics for "Cruising," it's essentially, the song is about, romance.
Yeah.
And I think there's a line in there where they talk about one night stands because the actress from, I always remember her from Showgirls. It's Elizabeth Berkley. Yeah.
I mainly remember from Saved by the Bell. So
yeah, she was in that too.
Yeah. So her transition from Saved by the Bell to Showgirls, that's still in a lot of people's minds even now.
Yeah, which is kind of a shame because I think she's a good actress. She's really good.
Yeah, Showgirls just a real dud in her career.
But when we look, back to those lyrics, it says, "And if you want it, you got it forever. This is not a one night stand. Let the music take your mind. Oh, just release and you will find." Yeah, and I think it's kind of there's some irony there because the song is not about having a one night stand, but that's what
it is, a one night stand with money involved.
Yeah, and Mandy, that's what Mandy, the character who's played by
Mandy Murphy.
Mm-hmm. That's what essentially she offers them.
She's a hooker.
Yeah, she's a hooker.
She even says so. She's like, "I got a place, 1,000, 5,000 for the night."
Yeah,
5,000, 5,000 for the night. I'm like, I'm like, your pussy better be super.
Yeah, it's just it's a good song to use. I like. It always makes me think of Platoon, with that one scene where they're dancing around.
They're dancing, they're high, the tracks in my tears.
Yeah.
Stone, he really got more heavy into music back when he was in Vietnam. He got exposed to a lot of other shit that he didn't get to when he was in New York and Connecticut growing up.
Yeah, and I think that's what he had said. He learned a lot about music in Vietnam. That's where he learned about the Doors or discovered the Doors.
Yeah.
And a lot of like R&B music and Aretha Franklin and that type of that genre. So definitely a cool song. We go to our next one by Overseer. It's called Stomp Box. And the scene that this song is played in is when Willie scrambles into the secondary, and it's the Sharks Rhino game.
The second game?
Yeah, I believe it's the second game.
Oh yeah, that was a fun game to watch. They had a lot of songs in that one.
Yeah, and this is like reminds me of like industrial type of like Nine Inch Nails kind of sound to it.
I felt that too, actually. Yeah.
So yeah, he scrambles out and he just gets crushed by the secondary,
Yeah,
but I
does.
guess he gets a first down. And,
he gets a first down and gets a touchdown pass.
Yeah. But yeah, it's cool. Definitely fits the vibe of like the intense vibe where he's just running, and they do that kind of shaky camera work where he's like dodging people, and it works really well.
It does, yeah, it does. It's like the human eye moving so fast. It's
think
hard to keep up with it.
That was another thing I wanted to talk about was the cinematography in this movie is just really well done.
It is.
Some of the long football shots where like they show the actual like spiral and then landing into like the wide receiver's hands. I'm like, damn, that is really good camera work.
It is, yeah, and even the spiral itself too, the perfect spiral that the actors would throw.
Yeah,
you know, whether it's Dennis Quaid or Jamie Foxx, is like, y'all probably could have gone pro.
Yeah, they definitely look like they did their homework and practice on throwing.
They probably just like in the movie Heat, how military officers use the scene where Val Kilmer where he switches clips.
Yeah,
and the military officer says, "See, that's how fast you got to be. If you can't do it as fast as that actor, you can't be here."
Yeah,
football coaches probably use shit from this movie too to motivate players.
Yeah, they used it like I think the Marines or the Army used it. It's like if you just like you said, if you can't change a mag, you're not gonna belong in my army or something.
Right? Yeah.
So yeah, I think they both do a lot of prep. Michael Mann and Oliver Stone for their movies and make sure their actors are prepared.
Oh, they do. Like in Platoon, like when he had them out in the Philippines for like 12 weeks. Yeah, and had them living off like army rations, living like how soldiers were living in Vietnam.
Yeah, I mean, it's the real deal, right? You had Dale Dye out there.
Yeah, enforced method acting.
Yeah, enforced method acting. Mm-hmm. So let's go to our new song. I'm gonna let you. Okay. I'll let you do this one because I don't want to have a Michael Richards moment or Kramer.
It's DMX. It's DMX, a Yonkers rapper who was big at the time, signed to Def Jam Rough Riders. Song is called "My Niggers."
Okay.
Yeah, it was used during the scene where the Sharks are finally catching up. And if you recall, it starts with, "You will not take this from me, baby."
You do a good DMX impersonation.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. What's it called? The like you said, the song is played when the Sharks' offense is a powerful drive. Willie Beeman, he throws a pass to Jimmy Sanderson. That's Bill Bellamy's character.
Yeah,
I think he's supposed to be like Jerry Rice and a mix of Jerry Rice and Barry Sanders, I guess.
Yeah, I always think of him. Bill Bellamy, wasn't he on MTV?
Yeah, he was an MTV VJ for many years.
Yeah.
And then he did that one movie, How to Be a Player, which was produced by Def Jam.
Yeah. Yeah, and he did a good job. I mean, I feel like he didn't have like as much of a part like as some of the other players, like LL Cool J.
LL Cool J had more of a part here where we got to see this character. Sanderson, though, he's the one scene I remember that shows some depth about his character is where he's looking in the mirror saying, "I am the greatest receiver that ever lived. I can catch anything." Yeah.
Yeah, he was having his like Muhammad Ali moment where he's like, "I'm the greatest. I am the greatest."
Yeah, and considering how they showed him in the movie, it's like, yeah, he's a good receiver.
Yeah, I like this song, man. This is like
it's energy. Swiss Beats was behind the beat too.
It's so intense. It's just
it is,
and it just gets you going. And I remember DMX was just so popular during this time, late 90s or maybe early 2000s.
And around the time this movie came out in his soundtrack, he just released his third album, and then there was X, which was hugely popular, and that was his best-selling album too.
And then he had a film career as well. He did a few other movies with Jet Li, and
he did Belly a year before this.
Okay. And that was that an album name or no, it was actually a movie?
Movie. It was him, Nas, Method Man.
Okay, cool.
New York crime drama.
Nice. Yeah, and then it just works well, and they're on a roll. Essentially, the Sharks, they're just they're having this great drive where they're, making first downs, moving the chains, and it just works perfectly.
Yeah, and another thing that happened too in this scene was what's it called? The football scene where what's it called? A player gets injured because of Willie McKenna, I think his name is, and James Woods. He has to go out there. He's like, he's got a distended knee. The whole thing. Tony. He's not going to be up. Not going to be up. How long is he going to be out? If he's lucky, Easter.
There's the humor again. Yeah, man. This was off DMX's album, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood.
And that was his second album. His second album that he released in the same year as his first album, too. And they both went to #1. No other artist has done that before, even to this day.
Yeah. I was reading that about him, and that album cover, man, is like intense. He's like covered in like fake blood. Like it's
Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood.
Yeah, man. It's pretty crazy. And then we go to that next song by Roger, So Rough, So Tough, and that was played when LL Cool J arrives on the boat.
On the boat,
with all of his a couple girls.
He's dressed in like a pimp suit with the red pimp suit with the hat. What's the name of my team? Sharks. That's right.
What's funny is like I don't know if you know this about Jamie Foxx and LL Cool J, how they like were beefing on the set and like they got into a fight or something, and the police were called.
Was that real?
I believe it was, and it's funny because Jamie Foxx is a comedian and was doing stand up.
Yeah,
and he was mentioning that incident, and he's like, you know, LL Cool J, he wears like lip gloss.
He licks his lips all the time.
Yeah. I thought that was funny. Jamie Foxx is so versatile, man. That guy does like everything. He's like
he does.
Comedian. He's an actor. He's like a singer,
producer. He's gotten a Grammy. He's gotten an Emmy. He's gotten the Academy Award.
Yeah, and Michael Mann also used him in Collateral,
which he also was nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
And then Miami Vice with he played
Tubbs.
Yeah. So there's that whole parallel between Michael Mann and Oliver Stone again.
Yeah, there is future parallel notwithstanding, but still.
Yeah.
And what was it? This scene, So Rough, So Tough, the whole funk groove thing. I know Snoop probably sampled that for what's it called for What's My Name from his first album, Doggy Style.
Okay.
And when you mentioned LL with how Jamie Foxx said LL got lip gloss. Remember, people keep saying he licks his lips because he does coke. Well, he was doing it in the bathroom in one of these scenes.
Yeah, which is ironic, right? Because they're like throwing a fundraiser for
the
DARE
program. Yeah.
Oh, geez. He's like, these are wonderful role models here. The mayor's talking about all the players.
Yeah, and then you got to the scene where Jamie Foxx's girl's trying to ingratiate herself with the players' girlfriends and whatnot, but it's not working. So the scene cuts to LL and Bill Bellamy in the bathroom with them hookers, just pulling off her shirt, doing coke off her titty.
It's just mayhem in there, and
it is. And Bill Bellamy's like, he's in the bathroom getting head from a blonde while smoking a cigar. He's like, "Yo, Jay, you know what this one bitch said to me? My sausage don't look right." And he sneezes on her, spits champagne in her face.
Yeah, I mean it probably believable, not verifiable, or I don't know, but
some of those athletes probably do that. I mean,
I'm sure there's crazy stuff that goes on, but it definitely made the movie a little bit more interesting. I mean,
it definitely did. It's like they're showing the dark side of pro football.
Absolutely, yeah. And then this, I've never heard. Like, I guess Roger is that
Roger Trout.
It's like is it R&B artist?
R&B artist, yeah. Roger Troutman, I think it is.
Yeah, and the lyrics "So rough, so tough, out here, baby, so rough," just keeps going on repeat, and I think that really matches up. They're kind of on a high, after
they won that game, yeah,
which is kind of funny because they then they end up doing the drugs in the bathroom. But
yeah, they do. But it was so fast paced. I mean, they're in the bathroom with all those girls, and the next scene you see LL and Bill Bellamy back in their suits again on the dance floor.
Yeah,
I'm like, splinter chronology here. What goes first?
They're just they're good at making sure they look. Yeah, they're good at cleaning up. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. And then we go to our next track, Trick Daddy Boy, which is I believe this was played on that airplane when
everybody's wilding out on the airplane gambling or whatever, but Willie, he's in the zone.
Yeah, and he's listening to Trick Daddy on his headphones.
Yeah, he's like, "What you listen to?" Trick Daddy. You heard him? Yeah, sure. I'm like, no, you haven't.
Yeah, it's like, he hasn't heard of them. Like,
you need to put you onto some jazz. I'll make you a tape. We got CDs now. Oh, well, never mind then.
Yeah.
Now neither one of those. You can say never mind to both now.
It's kind of like the old guard meets the new guard, right? Like,
kind of, yeah. But Willie is so focused on what's it called, on the music and reading the plays that he's hardly even listening to the coach at all.
Yeah, and I feel like the song really kind of conveys a sense that Willie can't relate at all to Tony.
No,
Tony's trying to find something in common with him, and like, he's like, my father passed away, but it's like Willie's just not having it. He just doesn't relate.
He can't relate to the coach at all. Yeah, and it's like, and it kind of reflects what's it called, Cameron Diaz's character too, the young owner Christina Pagliacci, how she can't relate to Tony's old school methods, and that's why she brought Aaron Eckhart's character in, Nick Crozier, the offensive coordinator, to replace him later on with his new high tech statistics style of coaching.
Yeah, and I think the lyrics really kind of convey that sense of not relating to Willie, not relating to Tony as well. You can't catch me, boy. Don't upset me, boy. Touch me, my dog. I'll wet your boy. Never disrespect me, boy. Dog, you better check your boy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go, man. But yeah, a lot of Trick Daddy, and this song wasn't actually on this.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't on the soundtrack, but there's another song in this soundtrack that's by Trick Daddy.
Oh yeah, I remember that song, and that was big when I was in high school too.
Shut Up, yeah, that's what it was called.
Okay, what's up? Shut up.
Yeah. So we go to LL Cool J now, and coincidentally, his song is in the movie, right?
Coincidentally, yeah.
Shut Him Down.
But that was a hit, actually.
Yeah, it's good. I think it works well too because it's played. I think it's the third game,
not the third,
or the against the Crusaders. I believe that's maybe the second game.
I think it was the third game because the first game they lost, the second game they won, and then they go to the
This is the one where Dick Butkus, I think, is the coach of the team, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the defense comes back on the field after Willie Beeman fumbles, and then they just essentially make a huge stop, a huge tackle, and I guess that's where this song, it just matches up perfectly because the defense shuts down the opposing offense.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah, they shut them down. So, yeah, good song, good beats.
Yeah, who did the beat? DJ Scratch did the beat for that one. And which is ironic they play a LL Cool J song for the defense because his character, Julian Washington, he's on the offense as a running back.
Yeah.
He's a good running back, but as Pacino puts it, he's a merc. He'll be gone in a year.
Yeah, he's going to be a free agent, or he'll be a free agent. So
yeah, contract incentives are all that motivate his character. And even Jamie Foxx's character called him out for that.
Yeah. He's so condescending to Aaron Eckhart's character, Nick Crozier. He's like, you're an offensive coordinator, Crozier. Like,
yeah, says his name like that.
Yeah, he says it just like
like when someone says your name after your first name after in a certain way after they finish telling you off. It's like they're trying to. It's like your name synonymous with shut up.
Yeah, they're just trying to like slam it in your face,
Yeah.
But then we go to our next song by Metallica, Motor Breath. I like this. This is in the locker room after the game.
After they won the game, yeah.
Yeah, so they're playing, I believe, that song by Roger that we were just talking about, So Rough, So Tough.
Yeah, they were playing that.
And then the offensive lineman, what's his name? Kelly.
Yeah.
Madman Kelly starts blaring the
Metallica.
So you have like a collision of the rap music, and then you have the heavy metal music, and he's like, Hetfield is God.
That whole locker room scene was great.
Yeah.
And when Cameron Diaz walks in, everybody gets all silent, but she's not phased. She guys with their dicks out and whatnot, she's just shaking their hands.
Yeah, I was very surprised. I was like, whoa. I was like, rated R. It's kind of like that movie Wild Things. You ever see that? Where
I snuck into that when I was a freshman. Yeah,
I think Kevin Bacon's junk was hanging out in that movie too.
It was, but
just randomly.
It was, yeah, but that ain't why I went to go see it though.
No, yeah, no. You went for Denise Richards, right?
And Neve Campbell. When I heard about that trilogy scene, I was like, sign me up.
That movie was famous for that. Definitely famous for that. But this is in Hetfield. He's talking about Hetfield, James Hetfield, the lead singer for Metallica.
Yeah.
Metallica. I think this album was Kill Everyone. I think the album was Kill Everyone, or
don't know which one. The only Metallica albums I got are their Black Album and what's it called, and For Justice for All.
Okay. There's so many of them, I just lose track.
There are, yeah.
But this song's not on the official soundtrack, but the
he brought the snake or the alligator in the shower.
The alligator in the shower. Madman Kelly.
When the black player said, "You can't dance in none of this," he's like, "Oh yeah, I got something for y'all. Watch this."
Yeah.
Then brings the alligator. They all shut up and get scared.
And this guy's like, please don't bite me." In the shower. Yeah. I think the lyrics really match up with that scene very well. They're all missing on what life's about. You only live once, so take hold of the chance. Don't end up like the others. The same song and dance.
Yeah, football is not the only life for you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it has rewards, but you got to use them.
Yeah. I think it's also kind of touching on that, you only live once, so have fun and enjoy it.
Oh
so.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it was about, though. Really, what's it called? The whole alligator in the shower thing.
Yeah, have fun.
Yeah, have fun with it. Yeah, there's no harm really.
So, the next song by Billie Holiday, "I Can't Face the Music." I like this one. How they use this song.
I love the scene though. What's it called? Beeman comes to the door with flowers.
Yeah,
like, "I got you flowers." "Oh, you shouldn't have." Then he walks in and he realizes Shark told him to bring flowers for Tony, right? Then he comes in this door and he realizes Shark played him on that because of all the plants that Tony's got around.
Yeah.
He's like, "Shark, you motherfucker."
Yeah. Well, like he doesn't need any more of those, right? Like,
right, yeah. How many fucking plants you need in that house?
And I like the puzzled look on like Tony's face. He's like, "Why did you give me this?" Like, but yeah, this is the scene where, like you said, Willie goes to have lunch, I believe, with Tony.
Yeah,
and
the dinner, the jambalaya. "I'm not a good cook, but you gotta try my jambalaya."
the way he says jambalaya.
Yeah, it's like you can't even say it right. You can't even cook it right based on what Jamie Foxx said.
Yeah. And then they sit down and have dinner, and essentially, this song is playing in the background, kind of faintly. Yeah, you have to like kind of listen close to it, and I don't believe you can really hear lyrics either. But
yeah, because so much distractions going on. You got the dialogue between D'Amato and Willie, then you have the interspersed scenes of like the gladiator films and the Western films, and on top of that, the Billie Holiday song.
Yeah, and there's a lot going on. But the title, I feel like, matches up with Willie's emotions completely.
Yeah, he's not listening to Tony at all. Tony's telling him what's it called? This is all end one day. Telling him to stop disrespecting the people that create the plays by changing them in the huddles.
Yeah.
Basically telling him, like, get your ego under control.
And Willie's deflecting all of this. He's like, "It's not my fault. I lost some money, because of this incident where he had taken money from like a booster,
for a suit, a $300 suit for the kid's wedding that he didn't even know, and he didn't know that was against the rules.
So he dropped like in the draft, and then he was moved to cornerback,
where he immediately got injured.
This is where you find out really more about the shoulder injury, because you see hints of it when they're playing in that volleyball scene where all of the Sharks are playing volleyball with those very attractive looking girls in Miami, beach volleyball, and then you see Willie kind of grabbing his shoulder. You see a little bit of it in that scene, the earlier scene where he's with his girlfriend after the first game, where he's got an ice pack on his shoulder.
Yeah,
but you don't really know much about it until later on. But yeah, this Billie Holiday is a classic. I think it's kind of cool how they used Billie Holiday in relation to Tony D'Amato's character, because he does say that his dad passed away in World War II.
Yeah, they showed like a scene for that later on in the film about when him and his mother were informed about his father's death when he was a child.
Yeah.
And it also reflects the musical taste of Tony. He's a big jazz fan.
Yeah. Well, and Billie Holiday was also played a lot during World War II.
World War II, yeah. In a way, he's stuck in the past.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you go back to the lyrics. "I'm going to end this misery. I'm almost crazy because I can't face the music without singing the blues."
That could go for either Tony or Willie, really.
Yeah.
I mean, Tony's been in this for 30 years now, and Christina's telling him to hang it up, but football is all Tony knows.
Yeah.
All he wants to know. I mean, it's just like the character in Heat. Another parallel to that, when Vincent Hanna tells De Niro's character, Neil McCauley, he's like, "I don't know how to do nothing else. Neither do I. Don't want to learn either. Neither do I."
And then he says that line, all I am is what I'm going after.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's another Heat parallel.
And both of them gave up a wife and family, domestic life for their profession.
Yeah.
Like there are several times in the film where Pacino's character, he calls his ex-wife and wants to meet with his son. who in a deleted scene is played by James Caviezel. Jesus.
Okay. Yeah, I did. I don't think I saw that scene. So who was what films were he in?
Jim Caviezel. He was in The Passion of the Christ. He's most famous for that.
Okay.
He was in Deja Vu with Denzel. He was the main bad guy.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So we go to that Trick Daddy song next that we were talking about. Shut Up.
Oh yeah, the party at Lawrence Taylor's house. Yeah.
It's so funny because Willie Beeman pulls up in his yellow Suburban, and he parks on the lawn. And then the guy's like, the bouncer's getting all angry at him, and then he sees who it is. He sees Willie, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry. Hey, Willie, how's it going?
Hey, Willie, how's it good? It's cool. It's cool."
And it definitely reflects the vibe in that scene where, he's essentially this song is like, okay,
what's up?
Shut up. Yeah, it just works perfectly. And then
that party's crazy though. I mean, as soon as he walks in. And what's it called? And it's interspersed with this scene where he's being interviewed with McGinley's Jack Rose character.
Yeah.
And he's up here talking about how many black quarterbacks are there? All of them living in a white man's world.
Yeah.
And she's LT, gives him dab and told him, "You fucked me on that whole flowers thing." He's like, "Oh yeah, I know, but check this out. Okay, blowjobs upstairs, pussy's over there. And your wife and kids aren't home. Wow."
Yeah. That's like crazy town in there, man.
It is, dude. It's like, okay, I would like to be at one of those parties one of these days.
They're living the celeb life, right? Sports and celeb life,
like sports, sex, drugs, all that.
Yeah, and you just see it escalate,
because of Willie Beeman.
Yeah, and he goes up to Bill Bellamy's character, Sanderson. I believe it, Sanderson and Julian Washington. And he starts just talking smack to them.
He's talking shit. First, he starts talking shit about the defense, and LL tries to put him shit like, don't let Shark hear you say that shit, all right? Like, fuck Shark. And goes after LL, and LL's like, and as egotistical as Julian Washington is, he says, "Motherfucker, you gotta earn the right to diss somebody else in this team. Kiss my almighty ass."
he's like, I've done everything for this team. I'll end your life.
I'll take your fucking life.
Yeah, man. It's pretty crazy scene, but this song, works perfectly, with the whole thing,
it does.
What's up? Okay, shut up to the bouncer.
And then LT flips it. Shark flips it on on Willie when he hears Willie was talking. She's like, "What?" Gets out of the hot tub, and the scene goes to him sawing his truck in half.
That's when they're playing that other song, the song that played earlier in the film by Capone.
Oh yeah, the CNN during the reunion.
Yeah. They start playing that. You hear it in the background again.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty good, and it definitely fits perfectly with that scene. But then we go to Jamie Foxx. You hear part of this song, and it's played at the end of the film as well in the ending credits.
It is, yeah, with that montage that they're showing of a Willie going back to his family and whatnot.
Yeah, showing
him have gaining more than an ounce of humility at the end.
Yeah, and they also play this song by Jamie Foxx. And then you have, Guru and Common.
Yeah, Guru from Gangstar, R.I.P., and Common from Chicago.
Yeah. So the song's played when he's essentially the scene we were just talking about where he's talking to Bill Bellamy's character and
Julian Washington.
Yeah.
Sanderson and Washington, yeah.
Yeah, you hear it playing in the background. And it's just, I think it highlights again how Jamie, like I was saying previously, how awesome Jamie Foxx is. He's so versatile. He does so many different things.
He does.
And he did that song with Kanye West, Gold Digger, which he's singing a hook, in that.
Yeah, from Ray Charles, basically emulating Ray Charles.
Yeah, he was in Ray. He won an Academy Award for that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the guy's he's just epic.
He's fun to watch too. Even if he does stand up now, it's still funny.
Yeah, exactly. And then the lines, the lyrics in this song, fit perfectly with the themes of the film and his character. Through the times are getting wicked. Through the times are getting wicked. I'm older.
I got a chip on my shoulder. True players always maintaining. I'm different. I told you. I don't want to be just a commodity. I'm a smarter G.
And that's exactly what he was telling LL Cool J. He's like, man, you got to be. He's like, you're all about the money. You got to be smarter.
Yeah.
And he was just essentially dissing LL Cool J.
He was really. I mean, the way he was saying it was a diss.
Yeah. So then we go to the next game that they're playing. It's against the Knights, I believe.
Oh yeah, that day where they were just losing.
Yeah. It's the montage, I believe, before they're getting ready for the game, the Sharks against the Dallas Knights.
Oh yeah, the final game. Yeah,
Yeah, it's Moby Gracioso. I love this song. It's just, it definitely helps. Like it's an instrumental, but uses like a small vocal in there, but it's not. There's no words.
There's no words. Just the music speaks for itself. Just like another Moby song that was used in the final 4 seconds of that game. Yeah, My Weakness is what it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Jamie Foxx, he just leaps over, gets in the end zone, and everybody's like, "Did he get it? Did he get it? Touchdown!"
Yeah, and everyone goes crazy.
That was like the Rocky moment.
Yeah, yeah. It's another nod, I guess. Back to I keep harping on with the Michael Mann. How he uses certain music. He's used Moby in a lot of his films.
Yeah, he did.
He's used him in what's it? The Ali, another film that we also covered.
Oh yeah, we did.
But yeah, it's definitely works there, and a great piece as well. Then we go to Paul Kelly piece.
Oh, this was good.
Yeah, this is for the Inches speech.
Yeah, this fit perfectly with that scene, the Pacino scene. Yeah,
and it's kind of like I almost think it's like a juxtaposition almost, because you have this really calm, like song, like this acoustic guitar playing in the background. It's very like mellow, but the speech that he's given, the Inches speech, is like it's full of like energy and
it is
passion. So it like,
and he just leaves his flaws with him. It's like, believe it or not, I pissed all my money away and chased off everyone who ever tried to love me.
Yeah. So it kind of fits in with the sorrow portion of Al Pacino or D'Amato's speech.
Yeah. It does. Yeah.
But it's kind of like, they're all riled up at the end of it, so they're all getting amped up, and you would think maybe there's another song they would have picked.
Yeah, something more energetic.
Or motivational. But this song just like I don't know, it works.
Fits the emotional tone of the scene. Yeah,
yeah, it does.
And this scene right here, the whole speech, including the music behind it, that's often given as one of the best motivational speeches in a film.
Yeah,
ever. If you look up any one of their lists, that's on it, along with like Bill Pullman's president's speech from Independence Day.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the top motivational speeches I've ever heard. There was some in I think of other sports movies like Blue Chips.
There were.
Nick Nolte's some of his speeches that he gave to the players. He's like, "What is this?" He's like drawing the heart. He's like, "It's a goddamn heart." That's what it is. Wow, you guys are really smart. Yeah. There's very few sports movies that I think are actually like hold up, but like this movie, Any Given Sunday, like I was saying, the Necessary Roughness, Blue Chips is another great one. There's a few baseball movies I like, but yeah, definitely one of the best motivational speeches I've seen. This song is actually used in the scene where Pacino is drunk and he's calling his ex-wife.
Oh yeah, earlier in the film.
Earlier in the film, yeah. I realized it when I rewatched it.
And he's stumbling around the bathroom.
Yeah, and he's like, "Fuck!" Like
if you like to leave a message.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah. So that's kind of a pretty funny scene as well.
Oh yeah, it is.
I like this next track that we're going to talk, or that will Bill Withers.
This was used great in the film, yes.
And it was also used in The Wire, too.
It was, the first season.
Orlando's, where
the strip bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, the very first episode, the pilot episode, yeah.
I love this track, and I never, like, I heard it, I feel like I've heard this a million times, but I never knew who sang it.
I've heard it a million times, too, but never even bothered to listen to the lyrics until recently when I rewatch Any Given Sunday.
Yeah, it's by Bill Withers. It's called Use Me, and works perfectly because Cap is
he's back in the game. This is his first game back.
Yeah, and he just feels like he's being used essentially because he's kind of like a broke down engine. Yeah,
I mean, his mind is still sharp. Clearly, I mean, he can still see where the ball goes. He's still got camaraderie with his players and whatnot, as evidence in the huddle when they're happy to have him back.
Yeah, and he makes some reference about a disc. Like they're like, "Oh, your
disc still spinning, baby, like your favorite CD player, baby."
Yeah, yeah. But love this song. It's kind of I would say it's an R&B song, or
I say like a jazz soul.
Jazz, yeah.
I say jazz soul, yeah, because of the way it was used.
Yeah,
like Cap is doing good at first, but based on the lyrics, he's about to break down.
And he does. We find out
does.
that last run where he
Gets
ends up scoring. He like scores a touchdown, but he like dives in there, and you can just see the pain when he gets hit.
Yeah,
you just know it's over.
It's
like,
over. You put Willie back in, and even in the locker room, what's it called? Pacino tells him, "There's no shame if you want to get out of the game right now." And then Christina Pagliacci has to come down and make it worse with her stupidity.
Yeah, and when he after he gets up after that hit and he scores the touchdown, there's like we see the ghost again, that that kind of dark silhouette of that person like in the stands. Yeah, you see it and you just know it's like, all right, it's over.
It's over. You just chill. You can be offensive coordinator after Crozier gets promoted to coach or whatever. And you notice what's it called? His wife, after Cap gets taken out of the game, is on the sidelines. His wife isn't seen anywhere after that. She probably got up and left.
Yeah, I hated her character, man. She like
Holly.
Yeah, she slaps Dennis Quaid in the film, and I'm just like,
that's Dennis Quaid, lady.
Yeah, it was like, well, you just knew, you could see who wore the pants in that relationship.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, even Dennis Quaid's dialogue, really, he uses like corny, old school, antiquated colloquialisms, like, Coach, Willie don't give a gee whiz about nobody in here but himself. Don't give a gee williker about nobody. I'm like, you don't curse or nothing. You're Captain America, Boy Scout.
Or it's kind of like Oliver Stone making fun of like, it's got a little bit of racial humor in there, I think, with I was watching Nixon, and I listened to the behind the scenes commentary, and he's like, he's talking about some of the characters in Nixon. He's like, yeah, it's just a bunch of white guys talking, So maybe he was kind of taking that approach with Cap Rooney, that character. He's like, yeah, it's just a bunch of white guys talking.
Probably, yeah. That's probably what it was.
But man, the lyrics for "Use Me" are great too. They just match up perfectly with the scene. It's, my friends feel it's their appointed duty. They keep trying to tell me all you want to do is use me, which I think is kind of goes back to D'Amato telling him, hey, you can be in that, you can be in the game. I know you can play. He's like, just do it this one time.
You're right, yeah.
And then some of the other lyrics is, but my answer, to all of that use me stuff is I want to spread the news that if it feels good,
it's good
get used. Yeah. So, yep.
And kind of in a parallel today too. It's like Tom Brady. He's the oldest quarterback in the league right now, but people often say he's done, he's finished. And while he has shown some signs this season of slowing down a little bit, not by much.
I just don't understand why that guy would. I know they love the game. I like quarterbacks, and some players really love the game. Some of them do it for money too. But I would be worried for him, like just about messing up my head, or getting a concussion and not being able to.
He's got a concussion before, yeah, and it's like, I mean, sometimes you think to yourself, is it really worth it?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't do it for money, clearly. I mean, not when you got that $300 million wife of his.
Yeah.
But if he's got competitive drive and it shows, then more power to him.
I just feel like it's kind of at like that. He's kind of at that point where it's like, why don't you just quit while you're ahead instead of like becoming like that character, like Lawrence Taylor character in the movie, or like what Jim Brown says in the movie. He's like, do you want to be that old boxer who can't remember
who he is anymore? Yeah,
yeah. So maybe going back to like some of the things. Like boxing, some of the boxing issues that we saw in like Ali, just with people getting injured. Muhammad Ali himself, him getting Parkinson and not being able to like function because of some of those hits.
Exactly, yeah. It's like his mind was still sharp, but his body wasn't following.
Yeah, it's just tragic, But I think it's one of, like we said before, one of those great kind of themes that Any Given Sunday touches on that a lot of football movies have not touched on.
No, they haven't really. A lot of them are just more comedic than anything else. Even the boxing movies touch on it too, like you said. Rocky movies, they touch on it.
Yeah, definitely. So we go to another track here where this is actually on the official soundtrack. It's by Goody Mob, Soul Sunday.
Goody Mob, yeah, they're Outkast affiliates. They're from ATL. They're a dope hip hop group.
Yeah, and Outkast is actually featured on this track as well. I really like this one. This was played, I believe, towards the end of the game.
Close to the end of the game. Back when Willie he takes over as quarterback from Cap.
Yeah.
And yeah, they start having a real impressive drive.
Yeah. And they run that reverse, I think, with like Terrell Terrell Owens.
That's Terrell Owens, yeah.
Yeah, that's where we see Terrell Owens just like shine and just gun it for that touchdown.
But no. He gunned it for the touchdown. It was Sanderson who ended up getting the flag when he made the touchdown.
Yeah, that was like later. I think it was
later
in the
game.
That like long throw, and then
the madman went crazy and pushed the ref.
Yeah, and then he gets thrown out, like got ejected, which was pretty crazy. But
yeah, it was.
Yeah, this song I really like, and the lyrics match up perfectly. I feel like, and if anybody got problems, I'm gonna cut for her. Yeah, it's in this atmosphere now. You can disappear, smoke thick shells. Maybe a reference to Owens. Just smoking. The faster. Defenders on that reverse.
That's why even though he's retired, that's why he's number 3 on like the most touchdown receptions, received touchdowns, and the most receiving yards ever.
Yeah. He was kind of a talker too,
Yeah, but he could back it up.
Yeah,
though.
He could back it up. I mean,
like Ali.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good reference.
And it ain't shit talking. It's not arrogance if you back it up.
Yeah. So then, we're wrapping up here with some songs that did not appear in the film, but are on the soundtrack. A song by Mobb Deep, "Never Going Back."
A funny thing about this song is it led to a lot of controversy like 4 years afterwards, because the verse that Prodigy from Mobb Deep had on this song, "Never Going Back," a year prior he had spit that same verse in a song with rappers Cool G Rap and True Life. I forget the name of the song, but it had a buzz on the mixtape circuit. But then Prodigy went and used that same verse and put it on the Any Given Sunday soundtrack.
Okay.
Yeah, so the rapper who he collaborated with before that, True Life, he had problems with that because that means he wasn't gonna get paid off of his verse for Prodigy's getting paid twice basically.
Wow. I did not know that, and then another kind of interesting fact is that the sample on this song is actually the sample for Moby's "God Moving Over the Face of the Waters," which was used at the end of Heat.
End of Heat, yeah.
And the title of the song, "Never Going Back," actually matches up. Yeah, it matches up to the line that Neil says at the end of the film when
the last line.
Yeah, he says, "I told you I'm never going back." Yeah.
As Pacino's holding his hand as he dies, it's like, damn, this enemy is like the closest thing you have to a real friend, kind of.
Yeah, they were like,
kindred spirits,
flip sides of the coin, maybe, or
yeah.
It's that's definitely one of my all-time favorite films, and we'll definitely have to cover that soundtrack.
We will have to, yeah,
because that's an awesome soundtrack. But yeah, that's one that was on the soundtrack that was not featured in the film. Yeah, there's another one, Swiss Beats, "Move Right Now," featuring Eve and Dragon. Yeah. I like Eve. She was like she has a couple of tracks I really like. But was also, I think she was part of the
Rough Riders.
Yeah,
they all were Swiss, DMX, Eve, Dragon, the Locks.
And Swiss was a DJ, right?
DJ and producer. Yeah, okay. He produced most of DMX's beats, most of the Rough Riders camp. He's currently married to Alicia Keys right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. And then Hole by the Courtney Love's band, "Be a Man."
That was their last song, by the way.
Okay, they never did any more music after that.
No, they didn't. "Be a Man" was their final song together.
Yeah, this one I don't know. I just didn't think it was anything special.
No, I think it just needed it in the soundtrack for filler.
Yeah. Then Missy Elliott, "Who You're Gonna Call." I like Missy Elliott. I wish they would have actually put this song in the movie.
They should have. Yeah, I mean, I think Timberland or Missy may have produced it. And it's got the energy that goes with a football game.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't put it in there. But, maybe it's one of those things I think where the director, they have all these shots, but they just don't have enough time or songs to, space.
Or the budget for it, too.
Yeah. And then Kid Rock with Fuck That. Yeah. Which is, Kid Rock was really popular during
the time, before he became a country music conservative.
Yeah, he was saying he was going to run for Senate or something. It turned out to be a joke. Thank God.
Good. I can't take him seriously.
But I think he's a good guy. I think he doesn't charge a lot of people for charge overly expensive ticket prices. I think he was trying to make concerts more affordable for people, which I think that's cool. Because concert prices, like ticket prices,
they can be exorbitant.
They're just getting out of control. I mean, like, Beyonce charging like $500 or like, I'm like,
what you need all that money for? You're already a power couple anyway.
Or like, I don't know. I mean, anybody, like, I mean, you know, some of these like older bands that have been out there, like charging all that money for concerts. It's just, it gets to the point where you can't afford it.
The most I ever paid for a concert ticket is, what's it called? Well, actually, you know what? This included the VIP package where I met the rappers in the back of the show, got an exclusive CD, autographed and whatnot. It was last year in Philly. It was $75 I paid for the whole thing for a rapper's Apathy and Self-Titled. That's the most I paid.
Okay. Yeah, I tried to go see AC/DC before Brian Johnson lost his hearing.
Yeah.
I think the tickets were like $250. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, granted, it is AC/DC, and you know they probably weren't gonna, you know, be touring for much longer. But that's just like
too much. It's like, and where is it $200 going to? The promoter, the band,
the middleman? Who knows? I mean, yeah. So this is crazy. But hey, man, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this episode. Had a blast doing it, and good luck to your Patriots. Hey, remember we beat you guys in the beginning of the season, so we did get our little hurrah, the Jaguars.
Yeah, all y'all teams that beat us during the season, really, that's your Super Bowl right there. It's too bad you're not in the playoffs. None of y'all are.
We'll see about next year. I don't know, man. We got a lot of problems, but I'm sure you guys will do well in the playoffs. And
yeah, we're going to this. Mark my words, we are going to the Super Bowl. And when we win that, Tom Brady's going to put on the Infinity Gauntlet like Thanos from Avengers. He's going to have all 6 rings. And he's going to say, with a snap of my fingers, half the NFL disappears. Mm-hmm. Mark my words.
You crack me up, man. But hey, man, thanks for doing it. And we'll do this. Hopefully we can do this again.
Pleasure. We will.
Take care.
You too.
This podcast is available on my YouTube channel, RoadTunes Reviews. It's also available on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and other major podcast distributors as well. So if you don't mind, please leave me some feedback. I'd really appreciate that. If you'd like to connect with me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter. My Twitter handle is @RoadTunesRevs. I'm on Instagram, and I'm also on the Untapped app. My username is Brewtuned. This is Andrew signing off. Cheers. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel and follow RoadTunes Reviews on Blogger, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And as always, thank you so much for your support.